There's a secret law of wealth that the modern school system is terrified you'll discover. It built the industrial empire of Henri, the global reach of Nestlé, and the multi-billion-dollar markets of the Igbo people of Nigeria. It's called the Law of Apprenticeship. Now, while you are working for a paycheck, the masters are working for the settlement. If you feel like you were made for more than just middle management mediocrity, you're right. You just haven't graduated from your service yet. You see, most people are paying for a degree that teaches them how to talk about money, while 1% are being paid to learn how to actually make it. We've been sold a lie that education only happens in a classroom. But while you're sitting in a lecture hall accruing debt, the future masters of an industry are in the trenches, learning the trade secrets of giants. In the ancient world, to be an apprentice was to be chosen for a legacy. Today is the ultimate hack to bypass a decade of figuring it out. You don't need another certificate. You need a master to mimic. The clock is ticking on your prime earning years. Every day you spend theorizing is a day you aren't monetizing. This is a teaching on having the mindset of an apprentice. It's about positioning yourself to learn about business, whether in the corporate world, from a master, or from someone who actually runs a successful business. Sometimes it will mean volunteering and humbly learning from those who have mastered the trade you want to build. We'll start by talking about the biblical mentorship. History isn't just written by winners, it is passed down by mentors. Look at biblical records. Succession was never accidental. It was manufactured through proximity. Moses and Joshua is an example. You see, Joshua didn't just read the law. He lived in the shadow of a man who received it. He stayed at the tent of meeting when others left because he mastered the presence of leadership before the position. He was the only one fit to conquer the promised land. And you talk about Elijah and Elisha. Elisha didn't go to a school for prophets. He didn't ask for a title. He asked for a double portion of the Spirit. You see, he served his master, Elijah, poured water in the hands, and performed menial tasks. His apprenticeship was his buy-in for the greatest prophetic legacy in history. You see, Jesus was the ultimate model. Jesus didn't hand the disciples a syllabus. He gave them a 3-year internship. He showed them how to handle the crowds, the critics, and the crisis. Now, if the greatest leaders in history required a mentor to fulfill their destiny, what makes you think you can wing it alone? Humility is the down payment on your future authority. Now let's look at global blueprints for dominance. See, wealth isn't just math, it's a culture. Look at societies that dominate global trade. They don't leave success to chance. Many cultures use the apprenticeship system infused in their school system to build wealth across generations. For example, Germany's economic backbone isn't just big tech, it's thousands of specialized family-owned manufacturing firms. Their dual educational system pairs students with masters from day one. They don't just learn mechanics, they learn the soul of the machine. Another example is the Igba-Boi, which is a viral wealth loop in Nigeria. This principle is lived clearly by the apprenticeship system of the Igbo people in Nigeria, which is one of the most successful venture capital models in the world. You see, a young person who is the boy joins a master. For 7 years, they are being in the service phase. They aren't getting a paycheck, they are getting tacit knowledge. They learn the invisible secrets of the market that aren't in any textbook. Then comes the time for settlement. The master provides the capital for the apprentice to start their own empire. This is the fulfillment of biblical promise. Say, because you have been faithful over another man's business, you've earned the right to have your own. And this is how the entire generation builds wealth together. Now, these cultures don't hope their children get rich. They engineer it through proximity to practitioners. You are currently competing against people who have been mentors since they were 12. Wake up. Now, let's talk about corporate giants that have been built on the shoulders of masters. You think the corporate world is different? Every major empire has apprentice DNA in its origin story. This works in the corporate world as well. You see, Henri Nestlé was a pharmacy apprentice in Switzerland. He mastered the science of mixing compounds, a skill he later used to create the first infant cereal and build a global food empire. The world is benefiting from a business idea started by an apprentice. Remember, Henri walked away from his father's farm to become a machinist apprentice in Detroit. He spent years with grease on his hands, learning the soul of the machine. He didn't have an engineering degree, but he had mastery. Ray Crouch was the master apprentice of the McDonald's brothers system. He didn't invent the burger. He mastered the process so perfectly he could scale it to the moon. You see, Ray Crouch bought McDonald's at 52 years old after 30 years of demanding career in the American corporate world, learning the craft. He was an apprentice of a sort in corporate America. For some of you who think you're late to the party, there is hope for you. You're not a failure because you're working for someone today, but a work in progress, learning the craft to build your own global corporation. Now, what is the advantage of this apprenticeship system? Why do apprentices always win? And why is this a superior business strategy? Because it eliminates the most expensive cost in business, the error tax. Now, what are the things that the apprenticeship system will help you to mitigate? How does the apprenticeship system actually help? Number one, risk mitigation. You learn the unwritten rules of the industry on someone else's dime. Number two, compressed time. An apprentice learns in 12 months what a self-taught entrepreneur learns in 12 years. Number three, the relational capital. You don't just inherit the skill, you inherit the social capital of the business. You see, a master's recommendation is worth more than 100,000 marketing budget. Number four, operational intelligence. You see the boring stuff, the cash flow management, the difficult HR conversations, the supply chain hiccups that the gurus never post on Instagram. You say knowledge is cheap, judgment is expensive. You are apprenticed to buy master's judgment so you don't have to pay for your own mistakes. So how now do I move from being an apprentice to owning my own empire? How do I transition from my 9 to 5 to owning my own business? Now, so if you are in a 9 to 5 right now, you are in your service phase. Here is how you execute these steps. Number one, learn the operating system. Don't just do your job. Study the supply chain. Study the market. Study how the CEO handles a crisis. You are being paid to learn the blueprints of an empire. Number two, the salary. See it as a seed. Treat every paycheck as your settlement. In Luke 16:12, it asks, if you have not been trustworthy with someone else's property, who will give you the property of your own? So use your salary to fund your vision, not your lifestyle. The third thing is to build an ecosystem. You see, the clients and the vendors you meet today are the partners of your tomorrow. Build relationships that will sustain your business long after you leave the corporate gates. So wealth isn't just money. It is the transfer of a mindset. You see, we are building an ecosystem of men and women who refuse to settle for mediocrity. We are building long-term wealth, businesses, and generations of legacy. If you're ready to turn your job into your mastery, hit the subscribe button. This is Well Declassified. Join the move.